And there it is. Hell yeah. Let's go. 4 days, 8 hours. That's pretty good. Holy shit. That's nice. Hello again, Exiles. Today I'm going to show you my journey to level 100 with my Righteous Fire character. As you could see, I actually managed to hit 100. This is only the second time I've ever been at 100, both in hardcore. My previous character was in the previous league, Gladiator, which did eventually die. There's probably like a million videos already about an efficient leveling strategy, but I feel like most of them are tailored towards softcore and maybe trade. I just wanted to give an HCSSF take on what sort of strategy I consider safe and what strategy I was using. The video is going to be structured as follows. First I'm going to talk about general strategy, which mechanics did I use, which maps are we running, what sort of Atlas passives should you choose. Then I'm going to talk about playstyle, how to use your maps and what sort of mapping experience you're going to be having. There's going to be a lot of grinding, obviously, but I think my strategy is sort of linear and very, I'm not going to say boring, but you have to like grinding your games. I'm going to talk a bit about scarabs and additional juice, which is sort of different in SSF because you really only have the scarabs in your stash, so your strategy may vary depending on what you actually have. I'm gonna go into stuff like what sort of map device craft you should use. And lastly, I'm gonna do some build specific advice. So for Righteous Fire, which I played this league, and sort of how you can do this strategy more efficiently using Righteous Fire. So the very basic TLDR here is you're going to be using Beyond and Harbingers in combination, and you're also going to sprinkle in some strongboxes and shrines for good measure. We're basically just aiming to get a giant pack size, a lot of mobs, and the Beyond will just keep spawning monsters like small bosses, which you can easily kill with Righteous Fire. It should work for any good clearing skill though. Any skill which has Explodey or something like that, it's gonna scale really well off just a bunch of white and magic mobs spawning. As you've probably noticed from the footage in the background, I'm running Beach and the Toxic Sewer map in combination. They are linked on the Atlas, at least this league, so it's very easy to sustain the other. You kinda just do 30-40 of Beach and then switch to like 30 or 40 Zero maps and just go back and forth between the two. I gotta say I used to be more of a Beach enjoyer, but now I'm starting to think that the mob density isn't great. So now I much more enjoy doing the Toxic Sewer maps because they are just totally packed and you really get to just annihilate mobs, and it feels really good when like the whole sewer explodes. That might be because of the build once again. It just looks really cool. Just a very simple strategy where you like take half of your favorite maps into Beach and half of your favorite maps into Toxic Sewer, and you shouldn't have a problem sustaining at all. With my 4 Void Stones and about, I think, maybe 7 of the favorite slots unlocked, I've never run out, really, so shouldn't be a problem. I think the biggest downside with running Beach and Toxic Sewer is there aren't really a lot of good divination cards that I know of. But again, on SSF it's not really that important, because even if you were to farm, say, Defile Cathedral, and you got like a Apothecary, it would take a lot of both time or luck to finish a set, so one card doesn't really do much. Whereas in trade, one card would mean you could sell it and get a lot of profit. So I don't think divination cards are really that important to even consider. Unless you're farming something specifically, of course, but the strategy will probably work on every map. I just prefer this type of back and forth between beach and toxic sewer. So just taking a quick look at the Atlas passive tree. This tree isn't really optimized at all. I just want to hit some key points which I think are important for the strategy, the function. So we basically get all the relevant beyond wheels, excluding the boss options because we're using this keystone. Endless Tide, which means that beyond portals in your maps cannot spawn unique bosses, but they have less merging radius. This keystone is really good because once a boss spawns in Beyond, it stops spawning additional monsters after the boss has been killed, or after the boss has been spawned rather. So taking this keystone ensures that Beyond will just be active the entire map, which is really nice. And less merging radius you can kind of get around by investing into merging radius, and it doesn't really feel like much of a problem. We're taking the increased quantity node as well, just because tainted currency can be kind of useful in SSF. It has some niche uses like linking corrupted 5 links or something to get easy 6 links. Other than that, we're going Exarch, mostly because Righteous Fire doesn't really have any nasty altar downsides on the Exarch side. So this is just for additional juicing as well, just extra quantity. And for Harbinger nodes, we're going basically all 3 clusters. And I'm using 2 map notables as well. I'm not sure if these are actually needed once you get your 4 void stones, but I like just having him for, I don't know, I just like having him. And in addition to Harbinger and Beyond, we're also going shrines and strongboxes. We're not investing fully into strongboxes, like getting donation cards and such. We just want additional strongboxes, which are rare. They're generally really good for SSF because they can generate you a lot of 6 links and stuff like that. Obligatory Nico node in hardcore, just for damage and movement speed, and the maximum LRS. We're going through the middle here on Kirak wheel. Again, this Atlas passageway isn't really optimized at all. We get the quantity and rarity nodes in the middle. Rarity is really nice for gold earning. And then we have kind of the trifecta of Conqueror, Shaper, Elder, and synthesized maps from the final map boss. I usually just have these nodes when I'm going Atlas 3, which is sort of rush heavy, where you kind of just want to get through the map, kill the boss, kill shit. Not a lot of maps within maps, like Incursion or Harvest or Abyss, which also will spawn a lot of boss encounters if you spec into it. So again, I just want to hit the key points Beyond with this keystone and all the Harbinger nodes. That's kind of the basic setup for the Atlas tree. So for the playstyle section, I'm just gonna play through a map live. I'm not gonna go through how I usually roll the maps, but I use a very simple Alkengo strategy, and I have several tabs here where I just drop a bunch of maps and I use a regex to see if I hit mods which are compatible with my build or not. Then if they brick, these are corrupted so they can actually brick. I put them in a separate tab, never to be touched again. And if I have too many maps, I put them into the rolled category. But usually I just roll them Alkengo and I just make sure that I don't have any brick mods. So let's see here, this looks like a really easy map. The only problem here is that the action speed cannot be modified. I usually go for Harbinger mapcraft, just get 3 additional Harbingers, because that actually adds up a lot. So let's see how this map is gonna go. Here we have the first Harbinger. He is just spawning a lot of stuff, which is good for us. You get a lot of currency as well running this strategy. Just like basic chaos and alps and stuff like that. And the Exarch altar popped. So we should be getting additional Exarch mobs as well here. Which just further adds to the map. It further adds to the number of monsters in the map. I'm not gonna be too picky about item pickup here, I'm gonna do that later. For now I'm just gonna aim to get to the boss and clear the map. The Beyond monsters can be kind of scary. They have a lot of moves to do big physical hits, so just make sure that you're combating fizz hits in some capacity. For me it's using Cloak of Flame, which will convert a lot of it to fire damage. Goes down, he just kinda explodes. See that thing there? The Beyond mobs do that sometimes, where you take increased physical damage. And that can be an issue. As always, be careful of rooms where Harbingers are spawning, because they will have pre-spawned a lot of mobs. And if they're like the skeleton casters, like in this map, there might be a thing where you can just peek through the door, like a door like this, and they just precast on you, and you just fucking rush into their fireballs and you die. So you still have to be careful of that. But that's just like general game knowledge, you know. But with Harbingers they spawn a lot of mobs. They're just gonna stand around inside the room. So you gotta be careful. Do not provoke them too much. I think this is the 3rd Harbinger. There should be at least 4 in this map, I'm pretty sure. Sometimes they spawn in the same place, and you can't really tell. The only thing you can tell is that there's like a million ads in the same room, and you don't know why. That's usually because the Harbingers are like stacked on top of each other, and just spawning mobs. Okay, that seems to be the entire map. As you can see, there wasn't really any special or additional content. I kind of just blasted through, and that's the way it should be, you know. That's kind of the strategy. Now you just sell, put your things in the stash, and you just go again. And this should give you about 20 to 25 million XP per hour, a bit depending on how efficient you are. And you should also get around anything from 8 to 12k gold per map. So that feels pretty good, at least with my setup right now. That's about an hour every time you do a map. So you shouldn't have an issue like building up a buffer in King's March. looking at scarabs which are available for additional juicing. First of all would be the Harbinger scarab. It's really nice for just adding additional Harbingers to your map. Obviously this isn't compatible with the map device craft, but I'm suggesting that if you use the Harbinger craft, the Harbinger scarab I mean, you can add Delirium craft for extra mobs, or you can add Abyss, or Breach is probably good. Settlers is alright. The ore deposits kind of function as shrines, so they're alright for adding additional mobs. And of course Domination is a pretty good one for this strategy, as we are spec'd into shrines as well. And of course Ambush is also a good option. Other than that, the sort of special scarabs for Harbingers I barely used them. I used the obelisk one a couple of times. It's not that good, it just adds some extra obelisks which drop currency, but they don't seem to add that much mob density to the map, so I don't think these are particularly worth it. Harbinger boss scarab replacement is pretty good. The Harbinger bosses are way larger and they spawn a lot more monsters, so this is usually a good scarab to use. And the duplication of currency charge is always nice, but it doesn't really add to the EXP grind of the strategy, but it will give you more currency obviously. Other than that, Kalguran scarabs are alright. Again, they are essentially shrines. Linking to that, Domination scarabs are good. Just adding shrines is a good idea. All the Beyond scarabs are pretty good, except the boss one, of course. Delirium scarabs are good. The generic one at least, we just add Delirium, so that's okay. And if you want more density, you can go for the Scarab of Adversaries, just to add some packs. And I usually run through all my Divination Scarabs for the same reason, just adding packs, which also give stacked decks, which is a really nice reward. Influence Scarabs are good, just adding extra packs. Map Scarabs are good for adding map drops. And obviously Ambush Scarabs are good as well. I'd say most of the Scarabs just add things are usually really good. Ritual is probably good, but I'm not really a fan of Ritual, mostly because I keep forgetting the reward. I don't really recommend Harvest though. These Harvest Scarabs should be they should be saved for when you are a bit more spec'd into Harvests, probably. Other than that, Chiseling is kind of optional. It really only adds to the quantity of items, not the density, so it's not really that important. On that note, you can use the Maven Chisel of Proliferation if you want to enhance pack size. I haven't really tried this, but I'm guessing it's pretty potent. Lastly, I wanted to go through some really close calls and kind of just show off some clips, and also give some very general advice about playing the Righteous Fire build with this precisely with this strategy in mind. Generally it's smooth sailing, but sometimes you get into situations where you have to use your logout macro, or you have to have balls of steel or something, because there is one mod in particular that makes this build very hard to play. And when you're facing down like a giant horde of monsters at the same time, and suddenly this rare mod comes into play, you're gonna panic. And I'm just gonna warn you that it's definitely going to happen, because in a game like this, your only real goal is just to charge in and explode mobs, and suddenly you're gonna feel like a sharp pain in your chest, because your HP bar drops to below 50%. And I'm gonna bring up some clips right now to show you what I mean. And yeah, this is gonna close out the video, so just thank you for watching. please like and subscribe for more content, and I hope you are still enjoying the 326 League. Let 'em roll.